Word.
So on the topic of sports, we haven't done anything like trivia or segment related here in a while.
Yes.
And I just deleted everything that was on my phone. Welcome to the Joystick Show. Yeah, man, we're like The View. If you ever seen that show, except we're not women.
We're just like them.
We're actually just the masculine view.
Yeah. We're not women. We are in our mid to late 20s, and we pretty much share a lot of the same ideals when it comes to political standards. So it's not The View at all. It's just four guys in a basement.
Yeah, they don't think about video games.
Yeah, fucking, or maybe they do, and they're just not allowed to talk about it. Yeah.
That could be it.
Welcome to the Joystick Show, not The View. We're here for another episode 209. Totally didn't have to look that up because we're forgetting. We got a jam-packed one for you, man. Tons of stuff on deck. See what I did there, man? No, you immediately ruined it. It had nothing to do with the Disney sitcom, man.
That's the wrong
Big Time Rush.
Bro, I love Victorious, bro.
Yo, Wizard of Waverly Place.
Fucking, if you'd like to help out the Joystick Show and Team Joystick, go ahead and like this episode of the show. Go ahead and subscribe to the team because it fills up our bellies with laughter and love. And support the Mets because that's the first thing we're talking about.
Yes.
Oh man, Dylan, how you feeling, man?
It's just been a week of basking in just greatness.
Can I ask you a question? As somebody who on this podcast for 4 years straight casually comes on here, just talks about how the Mets are doing. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's shit.
This year was like the first year where I was like every 2 weeks I was like, guys, some shit happened.
But you know what's also funny?
Yeah.
Because of that, this was one of the first years I feel like I was really keeping up with the Mets because we had Dylan.
Yeah.
And if you remember, for the first third of the year, the Mets sucked.
They were terrible.
They were ass. And then out of nowhere, Grimace came out through the first pitch, and ever since then,
they've been the best team.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
Well, no, honestly, like they showed like there was like a compilation like hype video. Within the first seconds, they showed Hawk Tuah, Grimace, and Jerry Seinfeld in like 10 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I mean, today is the first game. By the time this comes out, they will be playing their third game. But yeah, it's fucking magical. I'm pretty sure, it's a 25% chance, but really a 50% chance, essentially.
It's a 50%
that we
chance.
Get a Subway Series for the first time since 2000, which even then...
Which is what we all want. It's what we all want.
That was fucking rare. That in 2000, they were like,
this is what we all want. Give us this one more time, and then we don't need it again.
my dad is already feeling like the Mets shame, we call it. That everyone, a lot of Mets fans. I'm not. I'm always just a straight optimist, even though I know things usually go to shit. I'm usually very positive. My dad always negative, right?
No, yeah.
My dad is literally like, I don't want it. I'm like, you don't want it.
You know what's funny? I think Dylan gets a little bit of that from his dad because Mildred asked me the other day. She was like, "So Dylan's popping off, right?" And I was like, not really. Dylan does this thing where he doesn't get himself too excited.
That's the trait he got.
The way the Mets win, you can't not get excited. I mean, it's like they lose the entire game. Like even the game.
It's
behind me right now. The Mets will probably be losing for half of this game, and they'll come back.
How about
and
you
win.
Shut the fuck up and let the game happen? All right.
Yeah.
I've been jinxing them since day one, and they keep winning. So I mean,
so keep at it, Dylan. Keep at it, buddy.
And I even called it last week on last podcast. I said there's nothing like Japanese athletes, and literally today the Mets starting pitcher and the leadoff hitter, literally both sides are gonna be Japanese first time that's ever happened.
This guy from the Mets, Senga?
Senga, and then the Dodgers now bat Ohtani leadoff. So now it would be the first time that's ever happened, essentially, I believe. In a playoff game where it's been Japanese players.
Quick baseball question.
Yes.
So Ohtani's known for being not only an incredible hitter, but also a good pitcher, right?
Correct.
How does that work? If you pitch, do you bat on the same night or?
So back in the day, like the National League, the pitcher had the bat for many years.
Gotcha.
That like in baseball, the National League.
How far back is this?
Like a few years.
Yeah, I remember this being
like,
a thing.
Like 2019, 2020. They got rid of the pitcher. Pitchers kept getting hurt and like tearing their hamstring running or whatever. And most of them couldn't hit. Mm-hmm. So it was like it just stunted everything.
Gotcha.
So now there's like there had to be rules around that. In the American League, what happened was if you DH'd and wanted to pitch, you could do that.
Okay.
So if he wants to play the field, he can't pitch, obviously, because you have to be on the field.
So he can designate a hit, and he can also pitch.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But when you take him out of the game, of course, you have to like pinch hit him. It gets kind of complicated. You have to like pinch hit, and then the pitcher comes in, and then you got to pinch hit for the pitcher again. Like you lose that spot once you take him out of the game. Like you can't like substitute.
Oh, I see. Because he's two spots at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Because and that like that spot has to be accounted for essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that he should be the closer. Like you just bring him in at the end of the game.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, but instead of having him pitch. But I mean, we'll see next year.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you right now, the game is getting ready to start behind you, and I'm getting excited already.
The only thing about sports, and it's like, I guess baseball it doesn't matter because it's like every inning can be different. Mm-hmm. But most sports, the beginning is like, let's just like it's like an hour and then it matters.
Yeah, no, all the time. But baseball is the worst because it's like baseball's so dramatically long that the first 3 innings are just kind of like,
you leave it on in the background.
Yeah.
It's like you start your best pitcher too. Nothing's gonna fucking happen.
No, yeah. As a baseball watching noob, I just started watching after the 3rd inning. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time with an hour of my day.
And the thing is that like you either watch when something interesting happens or like it's like I don't know. I mean, I get excited about like a home run, but sometimes stuff's not exciting. You know what I mean? Like a dunk, it's like a dunk's exciting, but unless it's like a home run, it might not be.
Question, Dylan. Is it a strat in baseball to have like the first 3 innings just be like, all right, whatever play, and then everyone goes mad hard at like the last few innings?
Everyone goes hard the last 2 innings.
Yeah,
everyone goes. You bring in guys who throw like 104 miles an hour. Yeah. Everyone locks the fucking.
Yeah, so that's a strat that they low key.
It's like a conservation of energy.
Yeah, I mean, most sports are like that. Soccer, you kind of just waste the first 20 minutes. Football, you run the ball a lot.
It's like that in boxing too, or in fighting. You don't want to. I wouldn't say MMA, but in boxing, you don't want to go too aggressive in the first round. It's supposed to
tire yourself out.
You got to learn. You got to get adapted.
And too. Also, what happens in baseball a lot is that it takes a while to like get warmed up. Like you see a pitcher the first time, you're like, oh, that was kind of rough, and then the second time you see the pitcher, you're like, oh, I know how to fucking hit this guy.
Okay. So I'm gonna make my case. Why not just take away those 3 innings and make it shorter?
Dylan, did you make baseball? So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point, but then you could say that about any sport.
Yeah.
Basketball really only needs to be 2 halves. It doesn't need to be 4 quarters. But
I'd also imagine they'd still.
I'm not mad about that one.
I'm not mad about like instead of 9 innings, like 6 innings, then they're just gonna still go hard. Like, all right, we'll go easy the first 3 innings, go hard at the end.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is very fucking arbitrary. Like, that's why I love baseball, to like cap off this baseball, like to end off this segment.
I got Winker up.
That baseball does not like every rule in baseball is just because that's the fucking rule and you got to deal with it, right? It's the only sport where every field is completely different. No other sport's like that. Imagine in basketball, it was like, when you play the Knicks, the 3-point line's 3 more feet away. You'd be like, what the fuck? But no, in baseball, you're allowed to have that. And the innings too. Like, there's no reason why it's 9 innings. They just decided that's 9.
Yeah.
Gives people enough time to hit. That's it.
So Dylan, how far are we into the playoffs? Like, I'm not following the brackets.
4 teams left.
4 teams left.
So
they meet.
Winner of this series goes to the World Series.
It's Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Guardians. Whoever wins each one goes to the World
Guardians,
Series.
where are they?
They're the formerly Cleveland Native Americans.
I see.
I wanted them to be the Spiders, which was their name originally. They had black and red jerseys. It was fucking sick.
That sounds
But in like the 1900s too. It was so sick. And then what happened was they were the first team to have diversity. So they were the first team that hired minorities and Native Americans. So in honor of that, they named themselves the Indians. It's just
they just fucked it up.
Can't call them in. If they were called the Native Americans, they would still be called that. Look at the Chiefs, like they'd still be called that. The Braves, every time they had a home run.
Why can't they just change it to Native Americans?
It doesn't have the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't ring, I guess.
People, yeah. I mean,
they got too woke. Like everyone be upset.
They got rid
about
of the red guy. I mean, that was a good point. Yeah. Yeah, fucking go Mets.
Yeah.
Sick.
Easy.
So on the topic of sports, we
Yes.
haven't done anything like trivia or segment related here in a while.
Yes.
And I just deleted everything that was on my phone. How do I undo that?
There's an arrow at the top, right?
Where,
On the triple dots.
motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me.
be like a rewind arrow thing at the top.
Oh man, how did I do this? Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're good.
I was
We're
about to
good.
say, was this our
We-
first segment that we
It's not a
fucked up?
segment. It's not a segment.
He made a new note.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
it's literally
It's
just.
so much not a segment. It wasn't. Saved.
It wasn't a
That's how much not a segment.
No, yeah, you know I would have planned it better. No, I did a quiz earlier, and I want to see if Dylan has any knowledge, and feel free to jump in.
Okay.
12 cities in the United States, and only 12 cities, have one team that represents every one of the big four sports: hockey, baseball, basketball, and football.
Okay.
What are the 12 United States cities that have at least one team from each four of those sports?
All 12 cities.
I have as many as you can. I've got them here.
Okay.
Go,
so,
go, go.
So New York to start.
Yeah, of course.
L.A.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is actually.
Feel free to jump in, yeah.
Oh, one you would actually think that would be on there is Dallas, and it's not on there.
It is.
It's on here.
It is on here.
I was gonna guess
Okay.
Houston, but I
No,
guess that
because
was
because
bigger.
there Texas Rangers are considered Dallas,
Texas.
even though
Mhm.
they're like the metro area.
Yeah.
What else do we got? Used to be Atlanta, no longer Atlanta.
No.
Something from
I
Florida?
know that hockey they don't have anymore. Boston.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of them are on the East Coast.
Yeah. Detroit.
Yep.
Chicago.
Yep.
Tampa.
No, but there is one in Florida. A city in Florida.
Miami.
Yes.
Minneapolis.
Yes.
Oof.
You're missing one, two.
Yeah, and there's a couple of
You're missing four.
Phoenix.
No.
Oh yeah, they moved. Phoenix just moved to Utah.
I'm going to tell you the ones you're missing.
I feel like I'm thinking right now. Hold up. Seattle doesn't have basketball. New Orleans doesn't have baseball.
Kansas City.
No.
St. Louis doesn't have football anymore.
You want to throw out a city?
West Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is one of the
Yes.
cities.
Oh,
Yes,
shit.
dude, let's go.
Good shit.
I forgot about. How did I forget about fucking Philly, bro?
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
I also forgot about
How do
Philly
you
when I did this
forget,
quiz.
DC.
Yep. You're missing two more.
Right, he did say
ooh.
East Coast.
Three more. I'm sorry. Three
Oh,
more.
okay. Yeah. So.
Wow. You only got 9 of
Yeah.
these.
There's. Pittsburgh,
No. I'll say you've been to one of these cities.
Denver.
Yes. And you've been to the other one, too.
Oh,
China.
I've been to the other one.
Yeah.
No
Like
way.
this year or last year. You had an experience at a Walgreens, I believe. Or something like that. I don't remember.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Bobby knows.
I remember you
right?
talking about it. I'm trying to give you a hint.
No,
Think of what places have you been to in the past
I've
couple
been to
years?
Minneapolis.
You went to Minneapolis. You also went to...
Disney World.
Didn't you go to Chicago?
Yeah, I said Chicago already.
Oh, sorry. Then, yeah, Chicago's on the list.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's one more then.
What am I missing? I don't know.
I'll give you one last hint. It's also in California.
Oh.
Oh,
Think
San Diego. No.
Think northern.
San Fran. No.
Yeah, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
the Giants. Who else?
The Giants. I guess the Golden State Warriors. I don't know hockey.
There's no hockey team in San Francisco.
The Giants.
There's no hockey.
Are you serious?
There's
It was
no-
on the
There's
quiz.
no hockey team in
San Francisco hockey
San
team.
Francisco.
Oh, San
Bitches.
Jose. Yes, that counts. That counts. You're right.
San Jose.
Yeah.
It's a metropolitan area. The city south of San Francisco is San Jose.
San Jose Sharks.
So it counts.
San Jose.
So
Sharks.
get fucked.
Yeah.
That was my fake little segment. Also, if anybody sees the mosquito flying around here, please kill it. I got bit, no joke, 19 times in the past 2 nights. You could read Braille on the side of my body.
I literally saw your back, bro.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Oh my god.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
god.
You like that? Look at that.
Jesus
Look what
Christ,
they did to me.
man.
She's gonna start a family off your fucking blood.
Look what they massacred me. This might be TMI. Also, slight warning. I'll put it before there. For the first time, there's been half frontal nudity on the podcast.
Whoa.
They bit me in the top of my ass crack. Who does that? Like, I'm not trying to be too graphic here, but like, here's the cheeks, the very tip. Like right side, right at top right, like at the top.
That's uncomfortable.
I was like, homie,
Hilarious.
and I was under the covers. I was like, they just got under there. Big invasion of my privacy. Mildred
wild.
got no bites. It's just me. But yes, I'm marked up. It sucks. I do have something I want to talk about.
Yes.
I've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh.
First and foremost, I want to say a big shout outs to my best friend in the world, Dylan Diaz, who helped me accomplish a goal I've been trying to accomplish for literally months at this point, and that is to platinum Far Cry 4. The game is done. It's in the books. Thank you. Dylan
I fucking had to speed run the campaign for this
For what
game.
it's worth,
I was jumping off mountains.
For what it's worth, Dylan had to complete the first act of the game, which is like 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay.
At least, maybe a bit longer.
And then it took Dylan and me like 5 minutes to do everything. The hardest part was me and Dylan looking for a car. We were driving around in this game for like 5 minutes. Like, where are the people? Like, what the fuck?
We tried hijacking a friendly.
Yeah, friendly car. It wasn't working.
Give us our fucking car.
But point is, thank you, Dylan. I really appreciate
That's
that.
a homie move.
And with that, I accomplished my goal that I set at the beginning of the year, which was to platinum 150 games by the end of 2024. It's done nice and early. I had 2.5 months to spare. And I'll set a new goal for myself when we get to January of 2025. But point is, that being said, I platinumed, a little over 30 games technically in the past year. And I'd like to tell you guys the list that I compiled of my top 10 favorite platinums of 2024.
Oh, cool.
Quick thing. This is going to be real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on it. That being said, if you want to say anything, go for it. I'm not going to cut you off. But just quick disclaimer. None of these games came out this year. Like, none of them.
What if I just hijacked your segment and it was just like, here's my top 10 platinums, and I just like, and I just like, and they're all like just shitty games. Road Bustle 2.
Fire.
Fun, guys.
And I've got a couple honorable mentions. I think like one of them did come out this year. But point is, let's just get through it real quick.
Let's go.
Number 10 is going to be Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. This year, PlayStation decided that they were going to give trophies to some of their classic games.
Yeah.
And I found this to be very special considering it was not only one of the first games I ever played as a child being like 3. It was actually the first game I ever beat 100%. So it kind of made sense to go full circle and like get a platinum for it. It was kind of dope.
So sentimental.
And then also it's pretty easy. So I have pros and cons. The cons, I will say, it's a pretty quick play and it has some old camera controls. It's a PlayStation 1 game. It's just fun. It's nostalgic. Okay. Coming in at number 9. Like I thought about this really hard. I was between one or the other, but I'm going to go with Infamous 2 because I platinumed both of them recently. I gave it to 2 just because Infamous 2 is that much better than Infamous 1, and Infamous 1 is already a pretty decent game as it is. I've played it before but never platinumed it, so it's pretty cool being able to go back and actually finish it and get rewarded for it. The collectible hunting in 1 is atrocious. Like, if you're missing 3 things scattered on this entire map, it won't tell you unless you're like right next to it. So if you're missing something, you just got to run around for hours like I had to. Damn. But they put something in that fixes it in 2, so it's much nicer. And I would just say, like, the only con of having to platinum Infamous 2 is the fact that you have to do multiple playthroughs. You have to do, like, the good karmic ending and the bad karmic ending and all that stuff.
2 is that much better. You're right.
Moving it on, probably the newest game in the list. Number 8, Immortals of Avium. This game came out... came out last year. It's a first-person shooter with, like, fantasy elements. So instead of using guns, you use spells, but it's in the first-person kind of shooter thing. I only have real 1 pro for this game. There's unfortunately a lot more cons, and that's that it's a really fun game. Like, the gameplay, I'd argue, is enough to go past this very predictable plot and just a couple bugs that happened in the game here and there. I haven't even heard of this game, so. But yeah, like I said, predictable plot can be buggy, and it does have a couple missable trophies that if you're not using a guide, you could easily pass right through. But either way, I wanted to put it on this list because I think it's really one of the more underrated games that came out recently. It's pretty fun, and I'd give it a play. Number 7, your boy played a lot of Lego games this year, and I only gave it to 1. Decided to give it to Lego DC Supervillains. Game has a giant hub world that connects a bunch of different locations. You can fly from Metropolis to fucking Gotham to Smallville to Arkham all in one hub world. huge roster of characters, super stacked voice cast that has like the actors who voiced the characters from Batman the Animated Series, Teen Titans, Static Shock, Justice League. So it's like the characters you grew up watching on TV all came back just for this one Lego game. It's kind of cool.
Did you create your own Lego character?
You have to, but I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, in that game you did. His name was Bobby, and he had a cool black and red shirt.
I want to see it. Throw him up.
Yeah, there he is. And then I would just say the only con with that is it was a very long platinum. I don't have the exact number of hours. I'll throw the total up here at
Lego
some point.
games are like that. Where
Yeah, it's close to 100 hours.
I look at that's fucking crazy, Bobby. That's crazy.
No, maybe not. Maybe this one was like closer to 60.
Okay, because I've seen some. I remember I have a Lego City Undercover, something like that. And I remember I looked up the guide one time, and it was like roughly 50. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Number 6, a game that if you guys know me is very near and dear to my heart. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Got a little report this year. Came with a brand.
Not top 5?
Not top 5. Came in at a platinum trophy. It's a reboot of literally one of my all-time favorite games, and the reboot literally feels like it was made for speedrunners, so that made it even better. It has like save states, and all the tricks are still back in. And then my only con for the game, really, because it's the only thing I could give it, is just the fact that it has irreversible camera controls, and you can't change them. So it's like, right is left, left is right. But that's kind of standard. So point is number 6.
Yeah, old games.
Top 5 territory. Let's get into it. A game that somebody else at this table has platinumed and is sitting right there in a fancy little Halloween shirt. I'm going to give it to Ghost Runner 2. Sequel to one of my all-time favorite games. Was not expecting to enjoy Ghost Runner 1. Played it, fell in love with it. Bought Ghost Runner 2 last October. Platinumed it 4 months ago. Didn't touch it for a really, really long time, but finally did. Great sequel. Amazing improvements to movement. You got a new motorbike. You got a wingsuit that lets you get around. It's super dope. And then the only cons that I said is it has a few difficult trophies that require you to beat the full levels without dying and some other stuff. But the game is known for its difficulty. If you enjoy it, you'll get through it. That's
I'm
that.
Sure, yeah.
A lot of
like,
sequels
if you
so
like
far.
this game, you're gonna get this trophy.
I'm not gonna lie. The top 4 were probably like the hardest for me.
Okay.
Any one of these games could have been number 1.
How many of these are sequels of the top 5?
Of the
'Cause
top,
there's been a few actually.
of the top 5,
Yeah.
2 are sequels.
Okay.
I think there's been like 3 twos.
So number 4. Speaking of 2, it's not a sequel, but it begins with 2.
Oh.
A game that somebody else at this table has platinumed. My man Jerry. Tunic. Super fun game. Tunic is awesome, man. The whole game is literally
game
a
is
puzzle.
amazing.
Tells you nothing. There's no tutorials. The guide is in a different language that you have to like decipher as you play more of the game.
Okay.
And it keeps you into it. And weirdly enough, you find your way through. It's pretty dope. Was not expecting to play it. Tried it one day, fell in love with it. And I actually found recently there's like 2 other games on PlayStation that play the exact same way. So I want to check those out as well. I just wrote that it can be confusing at times. Usually can require a guide if you fall into some problems and need help. And the combat system is reminiscent of like the Souls games. So the bosses can be difficult in some cases. But that's my number 4 slot.
I platinumed it because you platinumed it. That was why.
Look at that.
Because you were like, it was good.
Good old platinum peer pressure. Number 3. While this may not be my favorite platinum, this was very close to being like the best like favorite game I played this year, and that's going to be Superliminal. Puzzle game, kind of in the same vein as Portal, like Half-Life-y kind of spiel. What's that game you were telling me about the other day? The more philosophical one.
Oh, Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable.
Oh,
Up that alley, except it plays with the idea of like how far things are to you. You can grow things. It's very maquette-esque if you've heard of that game, but different. Trippy visuals, love it a lot. Unique puzzles. Only con is not much story, and it can be difficult at times, but that's also kind of the point of the game.
Puzzle
like
games,
it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Joe, you like it.
That's cool.
Yeah, you would like it, Joey. Numero dos is going to go to Far Cry 3. Just a classic game. It's actually the first time I ever played it, and I'm mad that it took me this long to play it.
I played it on 360.
It's a ridiculously well fleshed out game. Lots to do. You've got the campaign, hunting, races, all that spiel. Memorable characters. You got Voss. That dude's fucking scary as shit.
Sigma edits.
And then my only cons is the low frame rate makes it feel like the game can be slow at sometimes. It's kind of weird playing like a 30 FPS game on a 60 FPS console nowadays. And there's no controls for field of view, so I felt nauseous at sometimes. It actually took me a while to get used to playing Far Cry 3. Like at first,
you feel like you feel very close to the screen just because you don't have a lot to look at. You're just rarely in it.
So that being said, those are numbers 10 through 2. Before I go ahead and unveil number 1, I just
this is brought to you by
this is brought to you by PlayStationProfiles.com. I'd like to just real quick give my honorable mentions for some games I also platinumed this year but did not quite make the list. So I'd like to give a shout outs to Thrillville. It's fun replaying that one. Multiverses, finally got that one done. Lego The Incredibles, which out of all the other Lego games I played this year came very close. It was actually pretty surprising how fun that game was. Tales of Kinzera Zhao, which is one of the 2 games on the honorable mentions list that came out this year. It's a Metroidvania made by a voice actor that's technically about him dealing with the loss of his father. Very, very fun, though. Far Cry 4. Really close to Far Cry 3. Didn't get it because of those fucking multiplayer trophies. If I didn't have to deal with that, it would have easily been the number 2 instead of 3. Animal Well, another game that came out this year. Metroidvania game as well with some spooky elements made by one person, I think.
I think so.
Super fun game, super cool. And then Axolotl, little roguelike that came out last year. Finally platinumed it this year. And it was actually the first game I platinumed of the year that started the 30 platinum journey. But without further ado, my number 1 platinum of 2024. Got it nice and early. Another person here at this table has it, and it is Jerry. Hey. It's going to be Hades. Oh, man. That was a ton of fucking fun, man. Lots of replayability. Super challenging, but fun. And it has like a cool little twist on Greek mythology, which I really, really liked. I thought it was dope.
That's getting a sequel, too.
And it already has a sequel. It's just it's taken a while for PlayStation to get it. And once it comes out, I'm fiending on it. But only cons I have is it can be repetitive at times, especially with having to play the same bosses on every floor. Whereas other games have like different bosses per floor. It's always the same thing every single time, unfortunately. It can be proved to be challenging, especially at the start as you're getting the hang of it. And it requires a large number of playthroughs considering it is a roguelike. But it's also one of the few that is as big as it is that I sat down and I was like, I'm doing this in one shot because I'm enjoying this. So that's my top 10 platinums of the year, and I can't wait to share my top 10 next year with y'all again.
I can't platinum rogues. I tried. they piss me off too much.
You know what else pisses you off too much?
What?
Fucking Six Flags, man.
Six Flags does piss me off. But I will say I enjoyed myself.
Wow.
So if those who don't know, like about 3 episodes ago, I went to Six Flags for their Fright Fest. We paid for the daytime express, like the express tickets, and it's the first time we ever pay for anything like that. And when we arrived at Six Flags, they were like, "Oh, the haunted houses aren't open yet," and we were like, "Okay, but we paid." And they're like, "All right, but you have to like." They didn't know how to help us, and I was like, "This is your fault. We paid for something that you cannot provide because they didn't have the license and permits for it." So they compensated us. They said we can come back. We still have everything. You just come back on a later date. And yesterday is the day I decided to go. So the scariest thing about the Fright Fest wasn't the rides or the scare actors. It was just trying to prove to the front gates that we're not jipping them off. It was trying to prove like, listen, we were here weeks earlier. They gave us this and now it's not scanning. And they're like, okay, when did you get this? Why did you get this? When did you buy the ticket? Like, they look at you like we're not giving you money back, and they have a strong no refund policy. So be warned, at Six Flags, you will not get your money back. They will try everything they do to make.
They need every penny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
they do.
Got to keep those Six Flags flying, man.
They're down to like if we were talking money, they'd be down to like 2.5 flags right now.
Honestly, no. It's kind of sad to see like this park that I used to go all the time, like almost on its hind legs. It's weird. You're seeing it in an amusement park on its hind legs. Very rare sight. But for the most part, the Six Flags Fright Fest 2024 was pretty fun. And I had to like as we went into the park, I was still kind of upset. Like, it shouldn't have taken this long for this to happen. And I was like, I'm not going to believe that it's happening until we get through the first house.
Mm-hmm. And it's good.
And it's at least enjoyable. So the first house I wanted to do was the Trick or Treat house because they got a bunch of IPs this year. And the one that interested me most was Trick or Treat, as for my shirt. Mm-hmm. It was a fun house. They had a lot of, you could tell there were female actresses as Sam because they were shorter. But they didn't get like a 4-foot one, which is movie accurate. But it was fun. Like every time Sam popped out to like do a scare, like we would, like me and my sister would be like, scare Sam. Like we weren't even scared. But we were just enjoying the house because they had a lot of references to the movie. Like it was like you were walking through the movie with about a good amount of scares. Like it was fun. So that was the best house at the park. And the Conjuring house was great. The Conjuring house, there was a guy that was behind the nun mirror, and he slowly poked his fingers out of the portrait. Like, I think it was an elastic wall or something. But it was a really well done effect, and you see the hands come out, and he grabs the mirror, and he charges towards you, like in the movie. A lot of great houses, but can I tell you the worst house that we were like, damn, this was like really bad?
Was it your house?
My house. No, it was Stranger Things. One of the
I
IPs,
could see that.
One of the IPs they had was Stranger Things, and it was the longest line at the house. Yeah, because I felt like Stranger Things is like not too scary, so like anyone that was kids. For some reason at Fright Fest, I was like, I don't want to go to the scary house. Let's start with Stranger Things. That line was crazy long. But luckily my parents and I, we got the express pass that time because I knew this was going to be crazy long because of the IPs. So it was not that long of a wait. It was maybe like a 35-minute wait as opposed to like hours. And I felt bad because after we got out of the house, I was like, that was it? I said, I feel bad for the people waiting on this line, the back of the line of this. It feels more like a museum than a haunted house because you're walking around. I also noticed that Six Flags posted on Instagram, we're looking for scare actors still. Hey, time is still available. We need scare actors. And you could tell with that house, it had little to no scare actors. And the actors that were there were just to like be part of the scenery.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any scares.
Gotcha.
A lot of figures. It was, my sister said, it was like, it almost felt like they wanted to show off all the Stranger Things stuff they could have in there.
All the strange things.
Yeah. And like animatronics where you see the wires and like things on rigs that you obviously see. And it just didn't feel scary. Like, I was like, that
sucks.
Worst house. Best house is an original house. It wasn't even one of their IPs. It was called The Asylum. So...
Well, that's original.
Yeah, right? So, I did not even think that was going to be the best house. But that house is filled with animatronics. Filled with scare actors. There's multiple corners because they try to simulate jail cells. Each cell has either a scare actor in it or an animatronic doing something bugged out. So it felt chaotic. Like,
you ever thought for a second you might have been in an actual mental institution? It wasn't Six Flags. It was just next to Six Flags. It was just next to it. It was just connected to it.
Yeah, that was the scariest. Yeah, this one guy like even threw shit at me. It was crazy.
It smelled like shit.
No, but it was a really well done house. The lighting was done. There was scare actors all running around in there having fun, and it was just very nerve-wracking. And that was the best house. Best house, The Asylum, and original. Worst house, Stranger Things.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, considering the hassle they put you through to have to enjoy yourself.
No, it was so weird because like they still don't know like what they're doing.
So the big question: do you see yourself returning to Six Flags Great Adventure?
No. I was like, damn, this like. They just can't get their shit together, and it almost feels like they don't know how or they just don't care. Because this is an amusement. This is an amusement park. Yeah. This is an amusement park on its hind legs.
Yeah. And again, I've platinum Thrillville. I have the answers. Let me in there. I'll flirt with a couple customers.
This is why we leave it to Universal. I mean, look at them. They make fucking Fallon and Fast and the Furious ride. They know what they're doing.
That's another throwback to we talked about him last episode. Shouts to him. Still on top of the world.
But yeah,
all those attractions.
We paid for the priority parking.
Fimi
Jalen, yeah.
We paid for the priority parking just because we were like, let's just get this day done as fast as we can. So we all chipped in to pay for the priority parking. And we did that over the phone on the road 2 hours before we got there. So we were there. They scanned us. And my sister's like, how do we know like this isn't full? Because there's a lot of cars. And my dad says, well, we paid in advance. There should be a spot that they have available for us. And we get there and they're like, parking's full. And my dad's like, oh, no, we know. We paid in advance. And they're like, parking's full. And he's like, so what do we do? And they're like, I don't know. So we went inside, and like I said, they have a strict no refund policy. They were like, the best we can do is that you can come back another day and use it. And my dad was like, the thing is, I'm not coming back here. I'm not coming back here.
Sounds like fucking Mr. Krabs is running this shit.
They just don't have their computers just can't refund people. It doesn't work. They're just like, yeah,
sorry,
man.
We didn't upgrade to the refund software.
Yeah, we're on Windows Vista still, guys. We can't do it.
But the houses were fun, or maybe I was just trying to like force myself to enjoy myself. But
Don't look back. Don't look back.
Oh God, no! It was fun for what it was.
Guys, what did I say?
I know. It just there was a graphic. It said they're 4-0 when the other team scores first in the postseason. So
5-0, baby.
That hurts. Anyways, I'll end it off with I got us candy from the place.
Yay!
The last time I've been to, I think the last time I went to Six Flags was like 2018.
Did you see the Six Flags?
I did see the Six Flags.
So I got us these zombie brains.
Yum.
I've had these in a few cocktails and bars, and they're not bad. I just wish they weren't freezing because they're in a drink, but now we can have them not freezing.
Cool.
And also these things.
Oh, you got the spooky clusters.
Spooky clusters, bro. We know that we all love this specific candy. We've been devouring this candy this past 2 months.
That's the candy of 2014. It's the top candy.
And this
2014.
is
2024.
That's how iconic it is.
Time traveling.
Remember when we were eating those in senior year of high school, man? Anyway.
Yeah, but this is spooky taste, and this is exactly. I'm saving this bag. It's
tastes just like spooky.
It tastes just like spooky, and I love it.
Delicious.
So that's for us.
Real quick, they got to get Senka out of here. He had bases loaded in the first inning. They just scored 2. We'll get to that later, though. Last thing I wanted to touch on, speaking of orange, you know what else is orange? Basketballs. Basketballs are orange. And speaking of basketball, I've been watching a little show on Netflix, a little docuseries called Starting 5.
Poopville.
I've been very excited for this docuseries since I heard it was coming out. It is a new series that follows the lives of 5 basketball players over the course of the 2023-2024 NBA season, and it's really well done. I have lots of stuff that I want to say about it. I comprised it into some quick bullet points. Let me try not to delete this. No.
What did you say it was called?
It's called Starting 5. The 5 players that it chose to highlight this year were LeBron James, the king himself, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Domantas Sabonis, and Jason Tatum. I thought it was really cool that they have Jason, considering they won the season. I'm not all the way through, so I'm excited to kind of get to that and see how they show that at the end of the series. But regardless, a lot of stuff I wanted to say. Really like how it humanizes these NBA players. I think we kind of get used to, like, not just basketball players, but we watch sports and we see these athletes on their court like it's a stage.
Basketball is very much like these are freaks of nature.
No, yeah, you know what I mean? And you just watch and you're like, whoa. But sometimes you forget, like, oh, those are just like regular ass people. And by the way, there's definitely some sort of conjunction between being very good at basketball and being addicted to playing video games, because all of these people are seriously addicted to playing video games. That being said, it's also really cool to see these players be like family men and like fathers. I was talking to my dad about it. My dad and I are like the number 1 and number 2 Jason Tatum hater. And it has nothing to do with like his talent or his personality, because he's an amazing basketball player and he deserves respect. But, you know, he fucks the Nets every single time he comes to Brooklyn.
Also considering that, like, I know they traded down, but like him and Jalen are the Nets draft picks from all those years ago. So It's like you're an extra villain.
And it was just cool seeing him be a father. You know, you always see the clips of him and Deuce, his son, but it's extra cool to see them have that really like close family dynamic. They talk about the stresses of being an NBA star, which you usually ever think about either. I thought it was cool to just see Anthony Edwards being a child. I don't mean that in a disrespectful sense, but you forget that he's literally like 21 years old. So he lives with like his uncle, and his uncle packs all his away bags for him while he's sleeping in his bed till like noon. And then they cut to his uncle. He's like, I pack all his bags for him. You know, I got 5. He's like, I got 5 outfits in this suitcase. He's good. And now I got to get the second bag. Second bag is the video games. And he goes into Anthony Edwards' gaming room, packs his Xbox. He's like, I got to make sure I got everything. I've been known to miss a quarter too, you know, he's packing it up.
That's wild.
There's a part where they're having Thanksgiving at Anthony Edwards' house. His whole family is over. His sister goes to get him out of his room, and he's like, how long you gonna be? He's like, if we win, it'll be 5 minutes, relax. And he's like, you really gonna be in your room playing fucking Fortnite while everybody's here for Thanksgiving? And it's like, he's like me. They talk about LeBron's longevity, which is, you know, just a freak of nature in itself. Arvydas Sabonis I did not know this guy's game.
Fucking crazy.
I didn't know about Arvydas. Yeah. I had to learn about this man.
Arvydas.
And then last but not least, arguably my favorite thing about Starting 5, just Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler. This guy is a cartoon character. Fuck yeah, Jimmy. Guy has like 9 businesses. Literally just wakes up and he's like, what am I about to do today? I'm gonna do this, and he just does it, you know.
Bird.
So fucking love Jimmy Butler. I loved him before the series. I love him even more. And I'm already thinking about who I want to see in season 2 of Starting 5. The next Starting 5. I want to see Steph Curry. I want to see Julius Randle. I want to see Luka Doncic. So I hope we get some of those guys. I've told myself I at least want 3 seasons. I want a LeBron season, a Steph season, and a Durant season. And then after that, I'm good. I don't need anything else. But those are my 2 cents on a starting 5. And keeping it in the veins, said I was going to ask you guys earlier. It's time for some NBA predictions.
Okay.
MVP, finals teams, NBA season champion. My predictions, Luka Doncic, MVP. Finals teams, Celtics, Minnesota Timberwolves. Winning team, Celtics. Those are my predictions.
Ooh.
What do you think,
Very
Dylan?
nice.
You mean no MVP Ben Simmons?
Shut the fuck up. MVP in my heart.
Let me brain blast this real quick.
You think the MVP is going to be on the winning team?
No. So MVP will be, I'll go with SGA.
Okay.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Finals teams, I'm gonna go Knicks Nuggets. Knicks. I feel like Knicks are probably a Final Four team, and then they're out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
You know, I want what's best for them. I also think that there's gonna be a West team that like no one expects, like the Warriors or some random ass team that's gonna be really good. And then what's the last one you said?
Winning team.
Oh yeah, Nuggets.
Okay, fair. What do you think, Jerry?
The finals is gonna be. Well, the MVP. I'm gonna say MVP is Tatum, and the finals is gonna be Celtics Thunder. When the Celtics win.
Yeah, okay. I like me and Jerry's right now. We sound good. Now, for all you bettors at home, get ready because Joey, what are you thinking here? What are your predictions for the NBA season 2024-2025?
I think it's going to be the team from the movie Like Mike.
Okay, yeah.
Versus.
Is Mike on the team? Or?
Not yet.
Oh no, the kid who's like Mike is on the team.
Yes.
Yeah. How about the Stuart Little kid?
The Zappy sneakers.
Is Lip Nicky on the team?
He's
or?
there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're the winning.
They're all there.
They're the winning team.
So it's the finals. So
who are they playing against in the
they
finals?
are playing against Miss Keen Pokey Oaks Kindergarten
from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are the Powerpuff Girls on the team? Because this is something to consider. If the Powerpuff Girls are on the team,
Buttercup is on the team.
that's good.
That's still strong.
She balls. I think I saw an episode where she was balling. And who's the MVP?
The MVP is the Stuart Little kid.
Lip Nicky.
Carl Weezer.
Throw it up there. Those are our 4 MVP picks. Oh, shit. Shout outs to Luka Doncic, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, and Jonathan Lip Nicky. The greatest basketball player.
That's such an actor name too. You can't be like, oh yeah, baseball player John Lipnicki. Like I guess, but also like
it's gonna be like Child Lipnicki too. That's the best version.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's get the jam yam bam slams out the way.
Woo!
You know how it be. I'll go right off the bat. I'm not gonna pull the old 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna go ahead and say my first. I will say real quick, your boy's been listening to the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Forgot how stacked that soundtrack is.
Fire.
But I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I hate to do it, but I love to do it. It's gonna go to another ericdoa song. I think that's 2 weeks in a row, and then another one like 2 weeks before that. But it's gonna go to Do Ya. So shout outs to Do Ya by ericdoa.
Nice. I'm gonna go with for the second week in a row, a band with Origami in the name.
Oh man, I thought we were
the
both.
Origami Killer.
Yeah, so it's
from
not
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not Origami
Angel.
It is Origami Button.
Thought it was Devil.
And the song is Oil and Water. They're very proggy. Their lead singer thinks he's like way too good of a singer. Okay. But the song, it's a kind of mellow. It's good.
I'll check it out.
Low key.
My slam is gonna go to Ice Nine Kills. They helped make a song for the new Terrifier 3 movie. It's a horror movie, and then for making the song, they had the actual actor be in their music video and like fully gave money to help promote it. But it's called A Work of Art. It was a song made to promote Terrifier 3, and it's in the movie.
Is it because his name is Art the Clown?
Yep.
That's funny.
My song of the week is going to be a song called Timeless by Playboi, Carti, and The Weeknd. And I found it actually because there was like rumors that they're making music using AI, which I don't think is the case. I think it's just Playboi Carti sounds weird. And I think they both have albums coming soonish.
Fire.
Yeah.
Well, those are the jam, yam, bam, and slam of the week. Nice and clear cut. Yeah. If you enjoyed that episode of the Joystick Show, you should go ahead and like this episode of the Joystick Show. And if you want to help support Team Joystick, you should go ahead and subscribe to Team Joystick.
Correct.
That's That's all I got. That's all I got for you guys. That's it.
Man.
Green.
Man.
Leave. Like, I don't know.
This fucking sucks, man.
Here you go.
Click off the.